I want to ask you about what is digital twins of cities?
Okay.
What does that even mean? I introduced you, but
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Yes. So firstly, what is a digital twin? So I want to like imagine that you're a car manufacturer, right? You BMW, for example, and you want to make the new version of some car, right? Um, and so you might say to your development team, okay, well, hold on. You've got two options. The option that most of them use now is to basically build lots of these cars and crash test them, right? There's a whole process behind like developing cars, but let's just take this as an example.
Okay.
And so to do this, what you'd need to do is build, hundreds of cars, let's say, and like crash test them all individually. And that's quite a lot of money that you have to put in. So, but you build the cars physically. Now, what a digital twin enables you to do is you basically take the computer model of the car, make it as close to reality as possible, and basically smash the car in all the different ways and all the different crash tests virtually, right? So it's a way that you can build the car in the virtual space as close to reality as possible and do a bunch of tests basically that allow you to save money, but also to, this hinge isn't working as well as we thought it would.
Mm.
Let's change that, before you actually go and build the manufacturing process, etc., etc. Same thing for cities, right? So although cities are already built, but let's say that you want to build a new district or you just want to map out the city in a different and more interactive way, you would basically take, map data and a bunch of other bits of data from the city, um, and you would put it all in a database and basically use that data from the database to make a virtual replica of the city. And the
Wow.
sort of tests that they do. So let's say, for example, you want to build a new district, but where do you put the roads and where do you put this building and that building, and how do people flow between the two buildings, right? Let's say you're building a stadium, for example. You know, you don't want it so that one end is really hard to get in and out of, and the other end is like, really easy. Let's say you want them to work together like in a good way.
Mm.
And so then you might create the digital twin, to run all of the models and run all of the tests, um, and basically make changes before you actually go and implement it.
Mm.
Um, there's sort of another level to a digital twin, which is like public engagement. So right, maybe they want to build a stadium, and they've got like a few different options of how they could, have the roads or have the car parking spaces or something. And basically, you can then put these into VR, or even just like a mobile app or just a website, right?
Mm.
That the average person that's not um, involved in the development process can access. And basically, you can then get like wider feedback from the people living in the place, um, than you would otherwise, because otherwise, what they do is like public consultations. And so, the digital twin enables, a lot more engagement with this public consultation, because
Mm.
otherwise, it's like they'll do a survey or something like that, and most people don't really care too much about the survey, and they just go, oh yeah, more or
Mm.
less that, more or less that,
Mm.
or they just don't respond, or and sometimes you see the little, you might have seen them even in your city, right?
Mm.
You'll see the little things. The road's going to be closed because we're doing some works, but sometimes you'll also get the little posters that say we're running a public consultation, get involved. Now, how often do you actually get involved? And
Mm.
there's almost like a bias there, because it's the people that like really do or don't want the thing to happen that get
Absolutely.
involved. Whereas if you've got a web portal, just like a website, that you can just, you get an email or something, or you get a letter through, go to this website and like test out this the digital twin of the stadium or whatever.
Mm.
There's a lot more. It's easier to engage. You actually see the thing,
Mm.
um, and so these are sort of the cases that are emerging for digital twins. Um, it's pretty early technology, to be honest with you. They're not like widespread everywhere yet, but like it's getting there. And they also enable like smart cities in a lot better way, right? So,
Mm.
for example, you know like Google Maps,
Yeah.
yeah, and where it gives you like road traffic live
Yeah.
data. Now imagine that you didn't just have road traffic live data, but you could actually, get like the moving cars, like not exactly to every single car, but it would give you like, basically a lot more real time, real looking thing.
Mm.
So that's
Mm.
one thing, but maybe also like people density, right?
Mm.
How many people right now are in this particular bit of the city,
Mm.
et cetera, et cetera. Now, you might not have that publicly available, but you, as the city, the city council or whatever it is, can then use that data to basically make better decisions.
Mm.
So yeah, that's more or less digital twins in cities,
That's
um,
incredible.
and yeah, it's pretty cool.